We continue Unit 13, Graphing Rational Functions, with flaps 4 and 5 in your foldable. Graph the rational function 2x plus 5 divided by x plus 1. To get the domain, set the denominator x plus 1 equal to 0 and solve for x. X is equal to negative 1. We write the domain as the domain is all real numbers except x is equal to negative 1. The vertical asymptote is x equals negative 1. Draw the vertical asymptote on your graph. Now, see if there is a horizontal asymptote. In the numerator, the highest degree is a 1. In the denominator, the highest degree is also a 1. The numerator is equal to the denominator. When the numerator is equal to the denominator, we look at the coefficients. In the numerator, the coefficient of the variable with the highest degree is a 2. In the denominator, the coefficient of the highest degreed variable is a 1. Y is equal to 2 over 1, which is 2. The horizontal asymptote is y equals 2. Draw this line on your graph. Now to fill out the tables. In the first table, pick some points that are to the left of the vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote is at x equals negative 1. So pick negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. And the other table is for the points to the right of the vertical asymptote. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug the table values into the function to get the y value and plot your graph. Remember, asymptotes are the boundary lines that the graphs will not cross. Next example. Graph the rational function x minus 3 divided by x minus 4. To get the domain, set the denominator x minus 4 equals to 0 and solve for x. Solving for x, we see that the denominator cannot equal 4. So the domain is all real numbers except where x is equal to 4. The vertical asymptote is x equals to 4. So draw your vertical asymptote on the graph. Now look and see if there is a horizontal asymptote. Remember to look at the highest degree in the numerator and denominator. In the numerator, the highest degree is 1. In the denominator, the highest degree is also 1. The numerator and the denominator are equal to each other. The coefficient of the highest degree is 1. In the denominator, the coefficient of the highest degree is also a 1. Therefore, y is equal to 1 over 1, which is 1. So the horizontal asymptote is y equals 1. Draw the horizontal asymptote. Now let's fill out our tables. Some x values to the left of the vertical asymptote. 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. Numbers to the right of the vertical asymptote to fill in for x would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plug the table value for x into the equation results in this table. Now plot the points. Remember, asymptotes are boundary lines that the two pictures or the graph will not cross. And go ahead and graph the rest of this function. Graph the function x minus 5 divided by x. To get the domain, set x equal to 0 and solve for x. Solving for x results in 0. The domain is all real numbers except where x is equal to 0. The vertical asymptote is at x equals 0. Go ahead and draw the vertical asymptote line on your graph. To find the horizontal asymptote, look at the highest degree in the numerator and denominator. The highest degree in the numerator is a 1. The highest degree in the denominator is a 1. The numerator is equal to the denominator. Therefore, y is equal to the leading coefficient over the leading coefficient. So y is equal to 1. To graph this rational function, pick some values to the left of the vertical asymptote and to the right of the vertical asymptote. Replace the x values in the table with the x value in the function. Now do the same thing with the second table. Finish graphing the second table. Graph the function x divided by x plus 1. To get the domain, set x plus 1, the denominator, equal to 0. X is equal to negative 1. Therefore, the domain is all real numbers except x is equal to negative 1. We have our vertical asymptote. It is at x equals to negative 1. Draw the vertical asymptote. Now check to see if there is a horizontal asymptote. The highest degree in the numerator is a 1. The highest degree in the denominator is also a 1. The numerator is equal to the denominator. Look at the leading coefficients. The horizontal asymptote is the leading coefficient divided by the leading coefficient. In this case, 1 divided by 1. Now, make the tables and graph the equation.